from 2014. By then, there used to be what they call a micro grant. So you get like some little funding from the foundation. You run like small projects. So I think the projects that we did that year, apart from having the meetups, we're doing events like Wiki Loves Africa. I think there was also Wiki Loves Women and other projects, but that was like the year. I think Erin can remember like how many activities or events we had that year, but that's when I think people started like, coming together and say like, can we have a community of people who contribute to Wikipedia and distributed projects in Uganda? And we have never stopped. So that's why we are here now. 2015. This first photo on the left is in Tanzania. I think one of the things that I'm really proud of that we have done as Wikimedians in Uganda, I've also tried to spread Wikimedia to other countries. One of those countries is Tanzania. We're in Tanzania also doing activities. So this was in Tanzania 2015. We are doing a Wiki Loves Africa event in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. But yeah, now there is a Wikimedia Community User Group Tanzania, which was born out of those activities that we had. And the other one is Wikimedia South Sudan. Yes, so I think that's one of the impact that we have had. I think Romeo was asking, can you also share the impact? We have also spread like the Wikimedia knowledge to other countries and even through other projects. I know like Alice is through GLAM is helping other Wikimedia groups grow like in Namibia and other countries. So our activities are touching also other communities. This was an info session at Chambogo University, 2015. Let me see if I can recognize anyone in that photo. Yeah, the photo quality, that was the quality of our photos by then. So forgive me if I can't even make out the faces. But I'm just showing you that, even in 2015, we were busy organizing activities at different universities. This is 2016. This was Wiki Loves Africa. I think the person who took that photo was Samson. I don't think we have him here today. But we are still also having activities in Tanzania still, touching other communities. Continuing, 2017, Wiki Loves Africa. That year, one of our members, Stephen, participated in the Wiki Indaba event conference. It was happening in Ghana. That was 2017. Wiki Indaba is the Wikimedia conference for Africans. So it gets different Wikimedians from around Africa and gathers them in one place. Some of you may know Bobby. Here he looked like the same size as me, but now he's a very big man. I think why for me this is very nice is because that year 2017 we had one person representing us. This year, as we make 10 years in South Africa, there will be Wiki Indaba, and I'm glad to say that Wikimedia Community User Group Uganda is going to be represented by 7 people. So guys, these are some of the people that are going to be representing us, but we are looking for 2 more people. So we had the call for applications. Hope you applied. There is a committee that is reviewing the applications, and they'll announce hopefully in the next 2 weeks who will be those 2 people to represent us in South Africa. But there are always other Wikimedia conferences like WikiMania. So whenever you see those calls for applications, please do apply. You never know, it is your luck day, and very many people apply. There can be like maybe 5,000 people, but if you don't apply, you don't stand a chance. If you apply, stand a chance. So always apply. 2018, this is WikiGap at Makerere. Still we're doing events. I think Erin mentioned it, that we used to have like a partnership with the Swedish embassy. So they were joining us always on the WikiGap events. This was another project we were doing still the same year. It was called the Wiki Loves Women. We are partnered with an organization here called Women in Technology Uganda. We had an editathon there. Some of you can recognize this lady. Who is that? Yeah, that is Alice. And okay. 2019. So 2019, I think something magical happened because we brought the whole East Africa region here in Kampala for what we call the East Africa Strategy Summit. So all of these people that you see in the photo on the left are from like 8 countries in East Africa. But the purpose of that strategy was Wikimedia 2030. So Wikimedia has been growing like, what do they want the community to be in 30 years? We had a strategy event here in Kampala. It was happening at, I think, Popo Hotel. I'm sure very many of you participated. So we are participating in discussions at the movement level. We are a user group in Uganda, but we are part of a global community. It's not actually a community, it's a movement. It's a community of a movement of people who contribute to open knowledge, to make it free and accessible for all. This photo, I love it because this was WikiMania 2019. And who is this guy here? That is Uncle Jimmy. This is the guy who woke up one day with a very crazy idea. Like, what if we create a Wikipedia that is free for all? So this is the guy who started what Wikipedia is today. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even be here. People say like Wikipedia, if you value it in terms of money, it would be very, very expensive. Like, this guy would be like a multi-billionaire. But he didn't think about himself. He just created this and said, let it be free for everyone. And that's why it is the biggest encyclopedia in the world today. But yeah, I didn't add this photo because of Jimmy. I added it because of Alice. Because that year, I think Alice and Erina represented us at WikiMania, which was in Sweden. Yes, Stockholm, Sweden. For the WikiMania. For those who don't know, WikiMania is the global conference for Wikimedians. This year it's happening in Poland. Like I said, there are always scholarships. Apply. If you don't apply, you don't get a chance. One person applied from Uganda, he got the scholarship. Congratulations, Alvin. And why I want to congratulate Alvin is because getting the scholarship is one thing, but traveling to Europe is really difficult. You can easily be denied a visa, but yeah, Alvin just secured his visa. So in about a week also he'll be representing us at WikiMania. So our voices will be heard there. Shall be represented as the Media Community User Group Uganda. Yeah, we haven't stopped. Every year we are having activities, and sorry the slides are just having a few activities, but just know all of the projects that we have been mentioning here where people have been reporting have been doing activities. This was WikiGap 2020 at MOOC. This was Week for Human Rights 2020. So we have been doing activities every year. I think one thing that is significant from this photo, you can't see people's faces. Why? Because not of course, okay, not just quality but COVID, yeah? Everyone's face is covered with the what? Actually that year I think was one of the where we had the highest number of contributions. Because people were at home and they're like, yeah, what do I do with this free time? Let me edit what? Wikipedia. So that year we had very many, I think this person here is Semanda, Will. I'm trying to recognize the other people. I think this is Erina. Yeah, I think this is Alvin from the pose. Yeah, he likes doing that pose. Yeah, but yeah, that year we had COVID in Uganda, but it allowed people to contribute more to free knowledge. Because people were like home and like, yeah, I can edit an event. That same year, we were supposed to welcome the whole of Africa to Kampala for Wiki Indaba. Wiki Indaba is happening in South Africa this year, right? Yeah. But that year, 2020, we're like, Uganda, bring it on. Then Mr. COVID said, you're joking. No, he said, no, this thing will go away. Let us put the conference in 2021. Yeah? By the time we have the conference, it will have gone away. Mama. 2021 it was still there. Then we decided to have that conference online. 2022, yeah, this was the AGM for 2022. This was WikiMania. Who was at WikiMania 2022? Yes, WikiMania 2022, there was still COVID, people couldn't travel, but what they did is to organize satellite events. So we had a satellite event in Kampala, and yeah, I think some of you are in this photo. You can see Njoroge, you can see Catherine, I think, and Quera. So very many of us were at that event. But also this year, I think WikiMania is also online and in person. So please catch some sessions, register online, and catch some sessions. So 2023, we are still busy doing activities. This is Uganda Wikipedia. Yes, these guys have created lots of articles. I think, Wilson was sharing how many articles they have created this year. And one thing I didn't know about Will, I didn't know that he was that competitive. Huh? Yeah, Wikipedia pages wanting these photos. This year is on fire. I think we have updated like images on over, I think they should be reaching like 3,000 articles now where people have added photos. So incredible work, guys. This was WikiMania 2023. It happened in Singapore, and still the Wikimedia Community User Group Uganda was represented. I think it was myself, Alice, and Sandra who represented us in Singapore. 2024, we are here. We are celebrating 10 years. We are still growing strong. We have more to achieve, as we are going to see in our strategy for the next 5 years. And I just wanted to share this. Let me see if it opens. But this is like our annual plan. So our annual report for 2023 to 2024. I shared it in the WhatsApp group. So you do find it, read it through. There is a discussion page here where if you have like any feedback, comments, feel free to share it. But here you can see the projects that have already been presented. This is 20 Wikilove's Monuments 2023. Yeah, this is interesting because this photo you are seeing here is a Polish refugee. Yeah, so WikiMania this year is in Poland, but Uganda hosted refugees from Poland. I don't know which year it was, I don't know the history, but there is a church there, even like their graves, the school, everything is still there. And Mr. Njoroge went there and captured this photo and put it on Commons. The projects have been shared already. Wiki Soccerthon, Wiki for Human Rights. This was about our AGM last year. But also one thing maybe that we didn't mention in the projects was the participation in Wiki Indaba 2023, which happened in Morocco. One of the highlights from that event is that Alice's efforts were recognized by the Wikimedia Foundation. She won an award for growing, Wikipedia on the continent. So we have so many nice wins as a user group to really celebrate. We also participated in WikiMania 2023. There was a culture day where I was supposed to put on traditional wear. So we made sure I get like some Ugandan attire, not grey, cream, and white. One thing that is important is also the strategy process, which we documented. We had meetings to discuss our strategy, and like Julie mentioned, there's also like a committee to follow up with the strategy to make sure that everything that is in there is good and intact. The only other thing I wanted to share, I think, is so this event which we're having today is also on Meta. That's the other thing I wanted to share. So I also shared this link in our WhatsApp group, but if you go on that link, you'll be able to see everything about this event today. We also added like the list of participants and everything. So sorry, the internet is a little bit slow, but basically in a nutshell, that is yeah, that has been our journey for the last 10 years. And thank you for being part of this journey. So at this juncture, we are going to switch now to the strategy process. If that's okay, MC. Okay, so I've just been given the go-ahead. Douglas, anything to add? You have been part of the journey since 2014. Yes. Tell us what you remember that is key for you for the last 10 years as we set the slides for the report.
Thank you, Geoffrey. There's really not so much to add, but maybe just to emphasize that the impact that we've been able to create, because if you look at how we started, it was just a small group, like 5 to 10 people, and we've been able to achieve what we are experiencing today. So imagine if all of us could be able to work together. Imagine what we can achieve in the next 5 or 10 years. So I just encourage us to work together as a community, ask if you don't know, and then we can be able to conquer the world. We are doing great things in Uganda, but then maybe if you look at our reach, it might only be limited to Kampala. So in order for us to cover the whole of Uganda, I know we have networks that we've created, and we can utilize partnerships. I know we have members who come from different organizations, always in Uganda, Dutch Aid, policy. So once we work together, we can achieve more. And lastly, so all those presentations that have been shared, we have been able to concretize these partnerships, and we are working together with other affiliates in the region. We are part of the East African Regional and Thematic Hub, which is a collaboration of 11 communities and affiliates in the East African region, and we are recognized by the foundation. So we are going to host WikiMania next year. It's going to be in Nairobi. So come and join us, be part of the journey. There's a lot of fun to have. And lastly, on the African continent, we are also members at the Wiki Indaba Steering Committee. This is the one that organizes the annual gathering for African Wikimedians. So initially the user group had slots for 1 year, but then WISCOM offers 2 years. So that means every after 2 years, we'll have someone represent us. Job represented us from 2021 to 2023. Those are 2 years since we hosted Wiki Indaba. So I'm the one representing for this year and probably next year. So once my tenure expires, there should be someone to also join the Wiki Indaba Steering Committee. So there are opportunities always available for you. And thank you so much.
So through our strategy process, we used community engagement to come up with this strategy. We didn't just sit down and come up with these things. If you remember being engaged last year or the other year, these are some of the objectives that came out of that. So the first one is community development and growth, increase and diversify membership to broaden the community's skill and knowledge base. Our second strategic objective that came up was content creation and improvement, enhance the quality, quantity, and accessibility of Ugandan relevant content on Wikimedia projects. The third objective is advocacy and awareness of open knowledge, promote the value of inclusive open knowledge, and advocate for inclusive policies that support its creation and sharing. The last objective is organizational capacity and sustainability, establish robust governance, operational structures, and diversified funding to ensure the user group long-term success. I think some of you remember contributing to some of these. So these are our 4 main objectives or strategic objectives for the next 5 years. So to achieve these objectives, Okay, we do have some milestones as a user group. So first of all, our first milestone has been formation and recognition by the Wikimedia Foundation. Expansion of membership and community engagement. We have grown since its formation. We have offered improvement in content creation and creation improvement in regards to content related to Uganda, education, culture, gender, etc. Wikimedia User Group is a recognized non-government organization in Uganda. We are registered and we have policies and associations that we adhere to. So during that time, if you remember the engagements, we also talked about SWOT analysis, what were our strengths at the time, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So as Wikimedia User Group Uganda, we have a strong sense of community, as you can see. We have active members, we have a sense of leadership, and we also have funding. So we realized we did not have clear governance structures and a lack of succession planning for long-term sustainability. We have many projects without a clear vision goal. Why are we doing Wiki Loves monuments? Why are we doing Wiki Loves Earth every year? To what end? Yeah. Then lack of formalized partnerships. We know that, oh, Danish Aid is here. Yeah, let's go along. But these are not formalized partnerships in terms of agreements or having side-by-side visions. Lack of proper policies, e.g. conflict resolution, but some of the opportunities we have, collaboration with other open organizations in Uganda, and as you see us seated here, I think within us there are about 3 organizations. Partnerships with local and international organizations, that is, we have worked with government, GLAM institutions, embassies, education institutions, and civil social organizations. So we have people who want to work with us. Some of the threats we have is a single source of funding, which is the foundation. We would like to change that. Still, and informal partnerships, not on paper. So one of the things we need to share is membership. Some of us were here because, oh yeah, I was part of this, but we wanted to formalize the membership structure within the user group. So who qualifies? Anyone, whether an individual or an institution or corporate body, may become a member of the organization. So as we go through membership, I guess you will understand where you would fall, right? As we read through this. We'll have founding members, individuals who signed the memorandum and articles of association. They will have full voting rights. Regular member, Ugandans with a Wikimedia account and active participation. These members, they have no voting rights. So you can just be, I come, I join the events, I'm active, but you can't vote, yeah? You can't vote for the board or things, but you're a member. So there's also voting member. These are regular members with at least 100 contributions or edits to Wikimedia projects annually for the past 3 years. Voting members can vote and participate in board elections, attend and speak at general meetings, and also serve on the governing board. As we continue, we'll talk about the oncoming board. There will be people will nominate themselves or will be nominated, and we'll have a voting process. So let's think about that. And then supporting member, individuals above 10 but under 18 years of age, or foreign nationals. Yeah, so if you are a foreign national, you fall under the supporting member group. They have all rights of regular members except voting and board eligibility. Yeah. Have we understood that? Because we have some foreign nationals. Institutional member, academic institutions, research groups, NGO, foreign agencies, etc. interested in the user group goals. They can send observers to general meetings, provide input to the board, participate in programs and projects. Then finally, honorary member, it will kill me. Individuals with exceptional contributions to Wikimedia User Group Uganda, granted by the annual general meeting. They will have all rights of voting members except voting and board eligibility. Yeah. Membership term. Voting membership lasts 1 year. Renewal forms will be made available 1 month before expiry. Termination. The board may terminate membership due to violation of the Wikimedia User Group Code of Conduct. Yeah, so I really hope you've understood this section, because chikukwatako munda. Yeah. Beneficiaries and target groups. So our target groups include educational institutions, cultural institutions, non-governmental organizations, government agencies, and the general public. Also, our activities directly engage students, professionals, academics, and enthusiasts to develop their skills in contributing to co-creation and utilizing Wikimedia projects. We also engage and support Uganda organizations to harness the power of free and open knowledge for their missions and communities. So finally, based on those conversations we had with the community, we came up with a new vision and mission. We had one old one, but it had become irrelevant. We had grown. So this is the new mission and vision that we came up with. Our vision: to cultivate a Ugandan community that champions the sustainable creation and utilization of open knowledge resources. Our mission: to empower individuals and communities to collaboratively create, develop, and share locally relevant content with open access. So those are our mission and vision that we came out with after our volunteer engagement. So what are our values for the next 5 years? Our first value is volunteerism. Most of you are volunteers here, and that's a value we are going to continue with. We dedicate time and skills to advancing open knowledge. The other thing is adaptability. What COVID showed us is you must be ready for change. So we effectively respond to a changing environment. As our environment changes, we also adapt. Diversity. We welcome and embrace everyone. Transparency. We act with honesty and openness. As you've seen throughout this whole engagement, financials, reports, everything is public. Anyone can access it. There are no secrets in this. Collaboration. We harness the collective potential for greater impact. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Erina. For those of you who are part of the strategy discussions, what you should be thinking about is what we are presenting, what we discussed. About we went and, we discussed other things, and then we went and put together things that are completely different. I remember, Romeo, you were part of the discussions at Kasamil to Hotel with Nuruddin was the strategy consultant that we had. So I also want to hear your feedback on these things. So please note down any comments, questions, suggestions that you have, so that we can try to see what we can do to incorporate that. So I'm just going to continue from where Erina stopped. So we have objectives that we want to achieve. And as Erina has mentioned, there are 4 of them. But for each objective, we need to be clear. Okay? What is the outcome that we want to see? Yes, we have the objective, but how do we know we have achieved that? So So what do we want to see? What are the outcomes we want to see? Secondly, how are you going to measure those outcomes? How shall we know that we have achieved those objectives? So that we come back here and say, yeah, this is the objective we had. On this objective, we have moved maybe 20%. Are we able to measure that 20%? Okay? So that's the next part that I want to take us through. So, and also for each objective, we have like key strategic interventions. What are we exactly going to do to achieve that objective? So we have the outcome we want to see. We know how we are going to measure it, but also we know what we are going to do to achieve that. So I'll go one by one. So the first objective, like Erina said, we want to grow the community growth and development. So we want to increase and diversify membership to broaden the community's skills and knowledge base. Okay? That is our objective number one. The outcomes that we want to see. So we want to see an expanded pool of contributors with diverse skills. People were saying here in the morning, like, yeah, can't we even expect other regions in the country? Why are we only in the country? Yes, we need to expand our pool of contributors. They shouldn't be only from Uganda, only from Kampala. Also, people with diverse skills. We need librarians, we need musicians, we need politicians. Okay? Yeah. We need all the skills. Rami is saying we leave out the politicians, but I think we need them. Yeah. I visited Touch the Slum, and there was a member of parliament there who was, volunteering for the organization. And I was like, yeah, we don't have any member of parliament who is in Wikimedia. So we need to diversify. We already have one, eh? I think like the bottom. Yeah, so people are saying that we already have politicians. So outcome number 2 that we want to see to achieve that objective is increased representation and inclusion of underrepresented groups. Are there some people that we are missing in this room that we should have? I think the answer is yes. Someone said, yeah, we need also to go local and get people from communities and make sure they are participating in our activities. And I think that's the thing about open knowledge. It shouldn't be like you have to have a PhD in football to write about football. No. Anyone has a contribution that they can make. Strengthen community engagement and retention. So we want to be able to say, okay, today we have engaged maybe 50 people, but out of these 50 people, maybe 30 are continuing to participate. Okay? So I want to make sure that the people who participate in our activities, yeah, they are engaged, they are strengthened, and they are coming back to contribute. And that means I have to be okay. How are we going to measure? Let me try to increase the pace because I have a party to attend, right? So I'm going to now go a little bit faster. So measurements. One is the number of new members annually. Demographic membership also need to look at how many men, how many women, not just increase only in one direction. Participation rates. We need to to keep track of to what extent are people participating in events and projects. Also want to do surveys every year with our members and ask them, are you satisfied with the community engagement? We need to always solicit feedback in a structured way. So these are the key strategic interventions. This is what we are actually going to do to achieve objective number 1. One, we are going to do targeted campaigns, both online and offline, to attract new members with a focus on underrepresented groups. 2, we're going to run mentorship programs, so we pair experienced users like Shafiq with the newcomers to support and guide them. 3, we're going to do skill building workshops. Some of the things we have been doing them, right? but now we want to do them when we are intentional. So skill building workshops, we're going to offer training on Wikimedia editing, copyright, content creation techniques, and specific topics of interest to the community. And then lastly, we're going to have community engagement events, so regular meetups, social events, editathons to foster connection and collaboration. So this is what we're going to do to achieve objective number 1. So objective number 2, we want to create content. I think this is something we have been doing a lot, yeah? We are always creating content, but want to enhance the quality. So it's not all about quantity, but also quality. So enhance the quality, quantity, and accessibility of Ugandan relevant content on Wikimedia projects. So we need to make sure Ugandan topics are covered, like motorsport, like someone mentioned. Outcomes, what do you want to see? 1, expanded coverage of Ugandan topics, increased accuracy and naturality of existing content, increased representation of local languages, increased consumption of Ugandan topics on Wikimedia projects. Yes, we are creating articles. We have created 3 Wikipedia articles on Uganda Wikipedia, but how many people have read those articles? Are people reading that content? We are creating knowledge, but we also have to make sure that knowledge is consumed, right? Measurement, this will be in number of new articles created. How are we measuring that we are achieving this objective? We are going to track the number of new articles created every year, number of articles improved, increase in content that is translated into local languages. We are going to create content analytics, like how many pages have been viewed. You wrote an article on, let us say, Bobby Wine. How many people have read that article? We need to get that information. So what are we going to do? Like strategic interventions to make sure we achieve that objective. We're going to do a content gap analysis to identify key areas where Ugandan topics are underrepresented. Organize events focused on creating new content, improving articles, and translating into local languages. Also need to have a control mechanism, quality control mechanism. So we are going to develop peer support systems, guidelines, and mentorship programs to maintain content standards. We are going to have partnerships with experts, so collaborate with historians, academics, cultural institutions to source reliable information on images. Objective number 3 is advocacy and awareness of open knowledge. We invited people from the media today. They are joining us. I think we have people from New Vision, Daily Monitor, but the reason why we are doing this is to promote awareness. Very many people don't know actually that they can contribute to open knowledge through Wikipedia. Some people don't even know there is a community of people, of Ugandans who contribute to. Yeah, this is someone who told me that he introduced, like whenever I tell someone I edit Wikipedia, they ask me, can you actually edit Wikipedia? Some people are surprised. So I want to create awareness of open knowledge and also advocate for inclusive policies that support its creation and sharing. How are we going to measure that we're actually achieving this objective? We are going to track media coverage. So how many articles have been written about our activities, have mentioned us, even social media reach. If we do a tweet, how many people are going to get engaged with our content? We also want to look at the number of advocacy events and policy submissions that we have kind of influenced. And lastly, we also track the number of partnerships and also the types of partnerships that we are forming. And these are our strategic intervention. What are we going actually to do to achieve that objective? Number 1, we're going to do outreach to institutions. So we're going to engage with educational institutions, GLAM and government agencies to educate them on the value of open knowledge and potential partnerships. Yes, if people don't know, you reach out to them and share what we know about open knowledge. We're going to do public awareness campaigns. We're going to use social media a lot. We're going to use traditional media, public events to promote our work and also the benefits of open knowledge. We're going to do policy engagement. So there are some policies that are under development that affect our work. We're going to track them and provide input on legislative proposals and also build relationships with policy makers. We're going to build strategic partnerships. We're going to cultivate alliances with organizations that share an interest of open knowledge, like OpenStreetMap Uganda and others, those that have the information access and also education. The last objective, wanted to keep them 4 so that we know we can easily track them. So the 4th one is organizational capacity and sustainability. We want to establish robust governance and operational structures and diverse funding to ensure our long-term success. I think as Erina shared, when we started as a user group, we're just like, we're all interested in open knowledge, or like contributing photos, or like editing articles. Let us do something. But I think now we have grown and we have very many people who are contributing. We really want people who contribute also to have a say in the governance of the organization. We want you to hold us accountable if things are not running properly. But also put yourself forward. You have different skills. Join us, be on the board. Okay? Okay, so the outcomes we want to see if we achieve this objective. We want to see an effective and transparent governance model. If Geoffrey is on the board, should be clear, was elected by the membership to be there. We want to have streamlined internal operations. We want to have multiple sustainable revenue streams. This we are getting funding from the Wikimedia Foundation now, but what if the foundation was not funding us tomorrow? I think there are so many organizations there that will be able to fund open knowledge initiatives. Can we tap into those opportunities? That is multiple sustainable revenue streams. How are we going to measure that we are achieving this? Up-to-date policies and procedures should be in place. We need to have member satisfaction with internal processes. We need to have increased funding from different sources. What are we going to do to achieve this objective? 1, clearly defined roles for the governance structures, having the responsibilities, the decision-making process for the board, staff, and the members. We want to have operational efficiency, streamline our workflows, implement project management tools and documentation processes. We are going to develop a mix of grants, donations, and sponsorship as our revenue streams. We are going to have capacity building for you members and also for staff. So we need to invest in professional development opportunities to strengthen ourselves in leadership skills, project management, and fundraising. So that was a lot, huh? These are the things we want for. There are 4, but each one has like a lot of things in there. And I think the question you may be asking yourself is like, we want to do all of these things, but now how do we do them? One of the things that I have to mention is that this is a 5-year plan. We're not going to get everything done in just 1 year, but we know the journey, we know where we are going, what we are building towards too. So, implementation strategy. We need a structure in place that is going to drive towards that. And this is the proposed kind of structure for the organization. This is the organogram. And again, I want your feedback on this. Do you think this structure will help us to... Okay. I think something is missing on this image. I don't know where it went, but there is membership behind this structure. And we are saying, if you make 100 contributions to Wikipedia a year, this can be in terms of photos, you may be writing Wikidata items, and there are ways you can go to your user page and it will give you a total of how many contributions you have. So what we are suggesting is that if you have made those 100 contributions in a year, from January till, then you have a right to vote who is going to be on the board that governs the organization. But also we are aware that there are people who may be like contributing, but they're like, I don't want to go into voting, but we want to encourage everyone to participate. So that's kind of the thing. We went away from, I think we had this discussion in the strategy discussions. Should we have a membership fee? And we said no. If someone is already volunteering their time, then why should we ask them to pay a membership fee? They're already contributing. Okay, so this is it. We have a membership. The membership votes for who is going to the board. So basically there's going to be a body elections. We're going to start with membership. People register for the membership. After we have known whether we have 30 or 50 voting members, then we do a call for nominations to the board. You put yourself to the forward and say, I'd like to serve on the what? But this is my vision. This is what I want to see happen if you vote for me to the board. Then people will vote for you. Once you're on the board up here, the board is going to hire now the executive what? I'm the acting executive director now, but I'm not going to be the one after. Maybe I will, I don't know. But this will be the board now to do what? To decide. Once the board hires, there should be a transparent process with it as well. There should be like an open call for applications, people apply, the board reviews, interviews them, and then hires the ED, so that we pay this person money, but we know that person has the skills to make sure that we achieve those 4 objectives. Because trust me, if we don't get a stronger ED, the objectives will be there, and then at the end of the year, he's telling his stories. Okay? Because we want to make sure that now the executive director now hires staff who are going to make sure the implementation of these activities is done. And again, these are also proposed roles. Have a community manager to make sure the community engagement. Yes, we have the finance manager, someone to do advocacy and partnerships, someone to do communications, someone to do monitoring and evaluation. We have a granting officer to make sure we are fundraising for money. We have a finance and administrative officer. So the purpose of this is to make sure that we have people, and please, we are requesting for your feedback. We have people here who have worked with organizations, NGOs, yeah? You may already see some gaps here. Please advise. So we're going to have a feedback session. Let me try to finalize quickly so that we can have enough time for feedback. But yeah, these are the roles of the, this is like a description of the roles up there. So yeah, the governing board, these will be the roles. So setting the overall vision, mission, strategic direction for the user group. This will be the work of the governing board. They are at the top, but they now offer financial oversight. They are the ones who approve our budget. They monitor our financial health. They ensure responsible financial management. Fundraising, they can assist also in fundraising efforts. They make sure we have policies that are relevant to the user group's operations. They also supervise the executive director. So they hire, evaluate the ED's performance, and also advocacy. They represent the user group to external stakeholders, policy makers, and funders. That is the board. What will the executive director do? So the executive director will be hired by the board, but is responsible for the day-to-day operations of the user group. So they will directly report to the board, and they will be accountable for implementing our strategic vision. We have these 4 objectives, but now it is the ED who is accountable to make sure these objectives are achieved. So these are the key responsibilities: managing of the staff, doing strategic planning, doing program development, doing fundraising, finance management, community engagement, body relations, and also public representation. And you may ask yourself, are then these like too many roles for the ED? No. The ED's role is to hire people below him who will do the implementation of all of these what? Activities. Right? So we shall have a community manager who will make sure the membership is well engaged. makes the community really, really welcoming. We shall have a finance and admin person to handle, everything, budgeting, bookkeeping, grant management, HR, volunteer engagement. We shall have like someone to do advocacy and partnerships. We shall have someone to do communications, and also we shall have people who are project leads, people who are actually leading the different projects that we are running. We shall have a monitoring and evaluation officer to help us track our progress towards achieving our goals. And lastly, we shall have a fundraising person who make sure we have more funding coming in to support our activities. So we need also to present this plan to the Wikimedia Foundation, make sure that we can secure funding that can help us to have such a structure. So that's also one thing that to be aware of, that this is not already like approved by the foundation and we have like a green light on everything. We still have to convince them to provide us with the resources that we will need, especially at the start. So resource mobilization, we need to strengthen our relationship with Wikimedia Foundation. We need to expand our donor base, get up into other funding kind of resources. We need to have strategic partnerships. We need to have individual giving and visibility. We need to have advocacy and partnerships. And this just short tells about the responsibilities again of each of the key staff in terms of resource mobilization. And lastly, we have the monitoring and evaluation framework. So we need a framework which is clear on how we are going to collect data, how frequent we are going to collect that data, who is responsible, and how we are going to do the reporting. I shared this document in the user group WhatsApp channel. Please take your time, read through it, okay? Don't be like the members of parliament who say they didn't see the 500 million, okay? Read it through and give us feedback on this. Also you can deliver your feedback to the committee. We have a committee that is specifically concerned with the strategy. You can also channel your feedback through them. These are our social media pages and handles. Follow us. That's our strategy. You have a comment on that? I think Erina has a comment. Can you pass Erina the mic, please?
I don't want to be the one to stop the party. So in regards to foreign nationals, yes, I think that's a discussion we need to have. Then also in regard to honorary membership, we haven't included the criteria. We have just said that the board or the AGM will announce the honorary member. We have not selected the criteria. I think this is a good suggestion. Then Mrs. Drake talked about retention of volunteers on the objective of community membership. Have you addressed it?
Not yet.
Yeah, retention of volunteers as they come in. Then someone talked about IP blockage and how we can address it. So for IP blockage, before an event, you're supposed to, there's a site where you ask for administrator rights before the event, and you state the event is going to take place on this day, and they give you the rights. So maybe the issue is that some of us are not passing down that knowledge. Sorry about that. Someone talked about partnerships, but I think Geoffrey addressed that. So another person talked about community engagement without universities. They live in areas where there are no universities, and maybe their activities should not be tagged to a university. I agree, we have focused on universities because it has people willing to edit and with that editorial skills. So when we talk about community engagement and just diversifying, we are not limiting ourselves to universities, and I don't think in the content we wrote universities. We are going to sit down and understand what does it mean to be engaged in Southwest. Maybe there is no Kabale University. Maybe we're looking at Red Cross is reaching out to people. Can we go along with, our partnerships will come in place, because of course even those numbers are not there, but it can be done, and it has been done. Of course, the issue is sustainability. And then she also raised an issue of some of these members may not be IT equipped, they are non-editors, and maybe you're not going to start from scratch. In the past, we have paired editors and non-editors. When we pick Uganda Wikipedia and we take them to Masaka for a grassroots project of hubs, the editors are there, the photographers are there, so the community members contribute in the capacity they can. If it's stories of how the hubs are healing people, or recipes, or engagement is not fixed to create an article, and that's what we'll understand as we go and engage communities at the grassroots. It will not be just about sitting down and writing an article. It could be documentation of heritage, history, and that will be figured out. The other point someone raised was sock puppet. So, yeah, I understand that 100 editors produced something, but in regards to sock puppet, if you look, we said 100 edits over the past 3 years. Yeah, we didn't say just get 100 edits this year and then vote. Yeah, but you must show some sort of participation for the past 3 years. Then finally, a member asked me on the break time, let's give Wiki Labs Monument as an example. What are we doing about publicity? And then also we are basing on outdated lists. For example, Wiki Labs Monuments, this list is continuously being updated, but the list we have is outdated. And there are new monuments coming up every day. So how are we keeping abreast? How are we keeping updated and not, I guess, basing on history? And in our objectives, in terms of content creation, the first thing we said was to do a content gap analysis. We also recognize it. We also recognize that we don't know what gaps are there, and we want to identify them, then begin to work on them. So in that regard, that will be addressed at that point. And then for publicity, it's under advocacy and creating awareness. Yeah, so there will be a focus in regards to that. It's not written to detail, but it will be considered for all the activities we're doing. Okay, so the person who had suggestion in regards to the alternative to 100 edits.
So for 100 edits, we are looking at, much as we are saying 3 years, it should be something like you look at this month, how many edits did you do? Like 2. You should not just base on a particular day. That's what we are looking at, because towards maybe election, that's the time guys will say, I need to be part of it. So someone is saying politicians, but we are looking at probably, like you said, I think Geoffrey answered part of it, but let's look at not just full stop. Let's look at maybe even a sentence that will make maybe probably an edit in a year. For photographer, it's something different. How many photographers have you brought into, have you raised, instead of, because you can go and get photos,
and the quality of photos. Someone may take like 100 photos.
Times, yes, and then submit. So we are going to look at also quality. I believe we should look also at quality, the quality of the photo, not just, like there's a time someone just updated, it was in Kwanjula. The whole thing was full of Kwanjula, food, leftovers and stuff. For those guys who were in Nigeria, I can't remember which year was that. 2021, yeah. Someone decided to, I don't know if it was a mistake. We even thought, was it a mistake? Probably someone wanted to update in his drive, but at the end he updated on our, and there was a lot of just Kwanjula photos.
Yes, I think Sadiq has a suggestion.
Yeah, I think when we do that subscription, everything could be somehow.
I want to agree with you. I think we can have a donation budget button on our website where people who want to donate money to the user group, they can actually do that. I just want to answer just some 3 quick questions which we haven't touched. One was like on people with disabilities, and thank you, Brian, for that correction as well. You have to be, careful in your wording. Yes, I think as we talk about, making sure like underrepresented groups are catered for, we need to be specific. We need to go into the specifics. So making like Wikipedia accessible by people with disabilities in Uganda, whether blind people or people with like hearing impairment, we should have that in our kind of interventions and our implementation. I think for me with the trainings, one thing we have to be mindful of is people's time. Yes, sir, you may call people for like not any trainings, but you are taking away also time. Because we have so many campaigns, but I think through this strategy also what we are trying to run away from, run away from doing 1,000 activities in a year. We may do few activities, but when they have like clear targets and what goals. Thank you for bringing that up. I would like to think that we have answered all the questions. Thank you very much, everyone. Back to the MCs to the last studies.
So we have another session, and much more fun session organized. So I would like to thank all of you for being with us up to this time. Thank you for coming, for spending your Saturday with us, for all your contributions, for joining us to celebrate 10 years of the Wikimedia Uganda user group.